Hey everybody, and welcome to the Guitar Tricks channel. My name is Anders, and I'm going to be your host today. As always, before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of our lessons in the future. In this lesson, I'm going to show you a lick in the style of the great Mark Knopfler, who is one of my personal absolute favorite guitar players. He uses the same basic patterns and notes that the rest of us use, and yet he gets a drastically different sound out of all of it. Let me show you an example of that. So let's say we're in the key of C. We're soloing in our old familiar pattern of the pentatonic blues scale. Now the first thing you'll notice is that I'm using quite a bit of distortion in my sound. And also I'm not using a pick. I'm using kind of a soft touch. So that's already a very different sound from what most people are used to. The combination of lots of distortion and a soft touch with the fingers. Notice that I'm using a combination of my thumb, my index finger, and my middle finger. Right there, I actually used my third finger, but mostly it's these three. Gives you a whole different expression that way. I'm picking very softly and everything is very muted and controlled. Now for our lick, we're going to start with a pickup note here in the 8th fret of the B string. And then we'll bend up a whole step from the 11th fret of the B string. Try and make it really soulful, that bend. And then after the bend, we'll play the C note here in the 8th fret of the high E string. That's all very standard, apart from the tone and the touch that we talked about. But it's how you end this lick that really sets it apart. We're going to come down the C minor triad. We already played the root note up here. And we're going to come down the 8th fret of the B and G string. And then once you reach that lowest note there, you slide down a half step. That's the lower octave of the 9th scale degree that people sometimes play up here. Playing it down here. So far we have. And all that's left to do now is to pick the root note with your thumb twice. So the whole lick sounds like this. Sounds cool and very different, right? Add some tasteful vibrato to the last note. You can also do the bend on the high E string, going up just a half step from the 10th fret. Like that. We're bending up from the 9 again, up to the flat 3. Pick it, release it, and then come down the same way. Two great licks. First one. Very useful stuff. And think about this. If this is the dynamic level where you start your solo, imagine how much range you have left for the rest of it. And that's it for this week's channel episode. I hope you're excited to go play around with this lick and this special sound on your own. And as always, if you haven't already, don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more great videos in the future. And as always, feel free to like or share this lesson with your friends. Have fun with it. I'll see you next time.